Okay, so lesson 6.5. This lesson you really need to focus in on, and it's something that will come up many times in both my quizzes and tests the rest of the way, because it comes up in the ACT, the SAT, the assessments that you guys will take later on in your math. There's always a question or two about perpendicular and parallel lines. They're really not hard, just a couple things you need to keep track of and you'll be in great shape. So before we fill in number one, let's go ahead and write the equation of the purple line. So we know how to do that. We need two things to write the equation of the line. We need the slope and the y-intercept. So somebody raise your hand and tell me the y-intercept of the purple line. Y-intercept. And it's probably easier to look on your paper than on the board, although maybe you can see it on your board. Kaylin?
5.
All right, so that'll be a +5, right? And again, you don't have purple, so whatever color you want to use. And somebody raise their hand and tell me the slope of the purple line. Slope of the purple line. Ethan?
3/2.
It is 3/2. So again, we start at one point. The vertical change is 3, and the horizontal change is 2. Right? I went up 3, and to the right 2. That's up is positive, right is positive, 3/2. Do you concur? All right, let's do the green line. Sound like I'm on the subway now. All right, the green line. Somebody raise your hand, give me the y-intercept. Come on, participate. Andrew? -1. Hopefully you agree. Now, somebody give me the slope of the green line. Green line. John?
3/2.
It is 3/2. So again, I have two clear points marked. If you start at the left one, you go up 3, that's positive. You go right 2, that's positive, and you hit the point. So what have you noticed about the purple line and the green line? Abby? They have the same slope. And what else are they? They are what kind of lines? Parallel lines. So the conclusion is parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. So here we visually see the parallel lines. Well, what if I told you this? I have a line, think now, y equals 5x plus 70. Give me a line parallel to it. Y equals 5x plus 70. Somebody raise your hand, give me a parallel line. Y equals 5x plus 70. Give me a parallel line. Come on, I'm looking for somebody new. Participate. Apply what you just learned. Y equals 5x plus 70. Give me a parallel line. Connor?
Y equals 5x plus 60.
I agree. Y equals 5x plus 60. Somebody give me another parallel line. Andrew?
Y equals 5x plus 20.
Y equals 5x plus 20. I agree. Parallel line. Somebody give me another one. Kirsten?
Y equals 5x plus 30.
Y equals 5x plus 30. Parallel. Give me another one. Lauren?
Y equals 5x plus 50.
Y equals 5x plus 50. Y equals 5x. Y equals 5x minus 2. Y equals 5x minus a zillion. Y equals 5x plus the square root of 7/3. Does the y-intercept at all matter in a parallel line? No, it just shows where the line is, but to make them parallel, same slope. Slope's the same, parallel lines. So if I had a line y equals negative 2/5 x plus 1, y equals negative 2/5 x plus 1. Somebody give me a parallel line. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 1. Give me a parallel line. Come on, participate. I'm going to make you. Y equals negative 2/5 x. Here, I'll give you a visual. Some of you guys are better at visual. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 1. Give me a parallel line. It's an ugly Y, but that's okay. Antonio, give me a parallel line.
Y equals negative 205x plus 2.
Okay, thank you. So obviously the rest of you, it's not a It's not a understanding issue. It's a heart issue, right? You don't want to participate? All right, that's okay. I'll just start calling on you. All right, here we go. So parallel lines, they have the same slope. So what if you get a question like this? Determine if the listed lines are parallel. Well, of course you're thinking, parallel lines, do they have the same slope? Do they have the same slope? And that's what you're thinking. Hey, do these lines have the same slope? Honestly, can we tell right now? No, because neither one is in slope-intercept form. So we better put them in slope-intercept form. So the left one, let's add a negative 8x to both sides, right? Now we have negative 4y equals negative 8x plus 10. All right, all I did was add a negative 8x to both sides. Hopefully you agree. Let's divide everything by negative 4. And we end up with y equals 2x. And this is going to end up being a minus, what, 5 halves? Reducing a 10 over 4, right? But honestly, we don't really care what the y-intercept is. And I could have gotten that wrong and still answered the question correctly as long as my slope's correct. Let's move the 4x to the other side by adding a negative 4x to both sides. Now we get negative 2y equals negative 4x plus 16. Divide everything by negative 2. And we get y equals 2x. And I'm not even going to finish. You're not going to finish. I don't care. Do you care? The question doesn't care. The question just asked, are they parallel? I'm not even going to finish the y-intercept. I just saw that the slopes are the same. And the answer is yes, they are parallel. Now, if they ended up being the same line, then still parallel. Any line's parallel to itself. But again, you're just looking to see if the slopes are the same. All right, so now in B, we have a little bit different take. So we want to use your knowledge of same slope for parallel lines to answer the question for B. Find a line, or write the equation of the line, that goes through the point. So we're given a point, but it says parallel to this line. So write the equation of the line. What's your first thought when you have to write the equation of the line? Raquel? Awesome. Y equals mx plus b. Because remember, we only need two things to write the equation of the line. We need m and we need b. Do we have either one? And the answer is no. So we need to find the slope and the y-intercept. Can somebody tell me how to find the slope? Everybody should be thinking, how do I find the slope? Andrew?
M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x.
Okay, so Andrew's thinking the slope formula, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Pretty good thought. The only problem is here I don't have 2 points. If I did, that would work, but I don't have 2 points. So that's not going to help me on this one. But you're thinking in the right direction. So when you would go to do that, Andrew, hopefully you'd then catch yourself that you only have 1 point. And then you'd have to say to yourself, there must be another way, right? And that's your thought. And that's real life. And that's fine having that thought. It's a good thought. It'll now lead you to the next thought. Okay, that's not the case. So what is? How am I going to get this slope? Kaylin?
Subbing the points with the y.
Easier than that. Easier than that. Ethan?
Figure out the slope like we did in on A
From where?
from the line that they gave us.
Okay, so they gave us a line, and they said our new line is parallel to it. Therefore, our new line has the same slope as this line. Can't we figure out the slope of this line? Let's put this line in the slope-intercept form. right? That's what we're going to do. And look, all we're going to do on this one's real easy. We're going to add a negative 3x to both sides, right? We end up with y equals negative 3x plus 6. Therefore, what is the slope of our new line? Say it if you know it. Negative 3. No x. The x isn't part of the slope. The multiplier of the x is the slope. If that line has a slope of negative 3, our line has a slope of negative 3. All right, we just found half of the equation. I've got m. How do I get b? I've got m. How do I get b of our new line? The one that goes through the point 512. Abby?
Subbing the values in solving.
Exactly. So we've got x and y for our point. Let's put in the 12 for the y. Let's put in our negative 3 for m. Let's put in our 5 for the x plus b. Let me let you catch up. Right? So, again, we're back to the place where we have the slope and 1 point, right? Take the x and y values, put them in for x and y, put the m in. You have one variable b you can solve for. 12 equals negative 15 plus b. So we're going to add a positive 15 to the other side. And it looks like we have 27 equals b. But we don't have a final answer yet, correct? Wyatt, can you give me a final answer?
Y equals negative 3x plus 27.
Awesome. So Wyatt correctly took his slope m, put it in for m, took the y-intercept, put it in for b, and there we are. We just found a line parallel to the given line through a given point. It's a key concept. That's exactly the kind of question you'll see on an ACT or SAT. Something exactly like that. Parallel lines. Okay, well, when you think about parallel, then you also have to think about perpendicular. All right, perpendicular. So let's do some perpendicular lines. All right, so let's do what we did before. Let's first off figure out the equation of the purple line. So let's speed up a little bit. We got to get the girls out of here. Pamela, what's the y-intercept of the purple line? It is 1, so we know it's going to be a plus 1. And you got to find 2 clear points to figure out the slope of the purple line. So hopefully you can find 2 clear points. When somebody's got it, raise your hand and tell me your slope. Come on, sane people here. John?
Negative 2, 3.
I agree. Negative 2/3. The slope of the purple line is indeed negative 2/3. Josh, give me the y-intercept of the red line.
Negative 2.
I agree, it's a negative 2. All right, everybody figure out the slope of the red line. Slope of the red line. Sam, what do you got? Slope of the red line.
3 halves.
I agree. If you take the y-intercept and you go up 1, 2, 3, to positive 3, and go to the right 2, you hit the line, so 3 halves. And you can choose 2 other points. Those are the obvious ones to me. Okay. Perpendicular lines have slopes. Because look, isn't it the slope what causes the line to change its angle, right? Doesn't horizontal line, slope, it starts changing from the horizontal. So if I got one line, I got to make that other line end up perpendicular, right? Like that if it were like that, but on an angle like that. So what's going to make this line be that is its slope. So perpendicular is also controlled by the slope, only obviously they're not the same slope. That's parallel lines. So how would you say the negative 2/3 and a positive 3 halves? How would you say that? You should be able to get one word pretty easily. Let's not worry about the negative. 2/3 and 3 halves are what? are what's? No, they're not opposites. Opposite numbers are two numbers that add up to 0, like 2 and -2. What's 2/3, 2 over 3, and 3 over 2? Those are reciprocals. Reciprocals. And notice one of them is positive and the other is negative. So therefore we say the slopes are negative reciprocals. The word negative means one's positive, one's negative. In other words, look, if you had a line where it was 3/2, the perpendicular line has to be the negative of it, so negative, and the reciprocal, so -2 over 3. If you had a line -2/3, its perpendicular line has to be the negative of it, negative and negative is positive, and then again flip it, 3 over 2. So negative reciprocals. But again, the easy way for the negative part is one's positive, one's negative, and the numbers are reciprocals. Fraction is reciprocals. Those are perpendicular lines every single time. Negative reciprocals. Okay, so again, we're asked to determine, are these lines perpendicular? Somebody tell me the slope of the black line. Raise your hand and tell me the slope of the black line. Josh? Say it again. 1 over 3. And hopefully you agree. 1/3 is the slope of the black line. The 1's understood, right? Not written. The 1, the multiplier of the x. Would you agree the red line, we got to figure it out, right? We got to put it in proper form. Let's add a -6x to both sides. So now you have 2y equals -6x plus 18. Again, we'll divide both sides by the 2, right? And we end up with y equals -3x plus -3x plus 9. Y equals -3x plus 9. So, somebody tell me the slope of the red line. Red line, Lauren?
-3.
-3. Is a positive 1/3 and a -3, are they negative reciprocals? One's positive and one's negative, and isn't a 1/3 the reciprocal of a 3 over 1? They are, and therefore, yes, they are perpendicular. So again, when they say perpendicular lines, you got to think slopes that are negative reciprocals, right? And I just abbreviated there. NEG, it's kind of sloppy, and RACIP, recip, for reciprocals. Okay, so one more problem. So now they do the same thing to us. They tell us, find a line, or they say, write the equation of the line that goes to the point 1, 3 and is perpendicular to the line 2x minus what? Equals 4. So same process. Whenever you're told to write the equation of the line, you always think y equals mx plus b. And this one I got to do for time's sake to get the girls out. So again, I need to find my y. I need to find my m. Well, let me figure out the m of the line it's perpendicular to. All right, for time's sake, add a -2x to both sides. You end up with y equals -2x plus 4. Change the sign of everything would be the shortcut, or divide the other two by -1 is the long cut. In either case, you get y equals 2x minus 4. So the slope of this line is 2. What is the slope of our perpendicular line? You got to think about this one. The slope of this line is 2. Our perpendicular line has a slope of? Awesome, -1/2. Great. So again, how do I get b? I have the slope. I have a point. X is 1, y is 3. I'm going to put in 3 for the y. -1/2 for the m. 1 for the x plus b. Do you agree I have a negative half on the right? So I'm going to add a positive half to both sides, right? So add a positive half to the other side. It's like, and again, what do I need on the bottom? I need a 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do the same thing to the top. I end up with 6 plus 1 over 2, which is 7/2. And somebody write the equation of the line for me. Or why don't you all say it? Go ahead and say the equation of the line. Y equals, okay, I heard some y equals negative 1/2 x plus 7/2. All right, real quick, just give me a minute here, a second. Look up. Parallel lines, your brain should say, same slopes. That's what you got to equate. Parallel lines, same slopes. Perpendicular lines, your brain should say, slopes are negative reciprocals. All right, that's it. Hope you do well on the homework.